Hey there, welcome back to the athomedive YouTube channel. As always, my name is Joey, and today we're in the kitchen doing something else fantastic. So, as many of you that I've ever cooked for have probably noticed, garlic butter is absolutely my favorite condiment. It makes so many things so much better whenever it comes to savory food. So, a lot of you have also asked how I make my garlic butter. So today I'm going to walk you through the simple steps that I go through to create what I call my refrigerator garlic butter, or the garlic butter that I always have on hand at my house. So sit back, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive right in. Alright, so here we are with this pretty simple list of ingredients. Garlic butter doesn't have to be super complicated, it just has to have really good, vibrant ingredients. So let's start with the obvious: 5 cloves of garlic and 12 ounces of butter. As you can see, this butter has been sliced and then stacked into a quart container. And you'll see why here in just a moment. I do want this to start to soften up, but not become very soft. I have 1 bunch of parsley that's been washed. We're gonna go ahead and clean and chop that here in just a moment. 1 generous pinch of red chili flakes. You can use these if you'd like to, if you like your garlic butter to be a little bit spicy, but these are absolutely optional. I've also got 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder and 2 teaspoons of celery salt. And here I have 3 ounces of good olive oil. You can use cheap olive oil if you want to, or you can even get away with a blended oil. But I do like the slight olive taste that you get with a good olive oil. So, now that we have our things, let's get started. So the very first thing we're gonna do is take the onion powder and the celery salt, and I'm gonna go ahead and add those right into the butter. And then I can set this out of the way because we're not gonna need to mess with it for a few minutes. I can also set the red chili flakes aside and the parsley. So let's focus on the garlic for now. So the first thing we're gonna do is peel and mince the garlic. A lot of times I like to just take my knife and cut off one edge of the garlic clove and then pull the peel right off. So the first thing that I do whenever it comes time to mince the garlic once it's peeled is I like to run through and slice it into thin slices like this. This is a great place to start because you know if your garlic's really thin, then you're not gonna have a bunch of chunks. Once I've got the garlic sliced thin, I like to just stick it all together and run through it, and then turn it and run through it again. And do that as many times as I need until I end up with small pieces. Now that the garlic is nice and fine, I'm gonna go ahead and place it right over into the olive oil. Once it's in the olive oil, I can go ahead and transfer this to low heat. So with the low heat and the garlic in the olive oil, I like to give it a swirl so that, as you can now see, everything's fully submerged and nice and evenly coated. With this on low heat, they should take several minutes to start coming toasty, and that gives us plenty of time to move on to cleaning our parsley. So let's do that. So when we go to clean our parsley, what I like to do is grab it by the stem and pull all of the stem straight away from the leaf. I like to save as much of the leaf as possible and get rid of as much of the stem as possible. So sometimes you have to go ahead and pull again, just to make sure that you get it all separated off.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So as you can see here, we have all of our parsley leaves and the stems are completely removed. So let's go ahead and check back on our garlic. All right, so we can smell the garlic starting to wake up now, and we can smell the olive flavor really coming through. And I don't know if you can totally tell on camera or not, but the garlic is nearly translucent now, and some of the pieces are even starting to take just a little bit of color. I like my garlic for garlic butter where it's barely starting to color, so we're actually really close here. If you are going to go ahead and use the red chili flakes, now's a really good time to go ahead and just dump them straight into the mix, and as you can see, they start to sizzle as well. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat all the way off, swirl the chili flakes in, and I'm gonna give this about 3 minutes to cool down while we go ahead and chop the parsley. Here is our parsley, and as you can see, it's not beat to death. In fact, I only ran through it a few times, but it's small enough that we're not gonna have any pieces that are too large to go into the mix. or that'll stand out in any way. And if we come back over to the garlic, as you can see now it's golden brown and the chili flakes have sank, which tells me that they've absorbed a little bit of oil, and so they've toasted off and they're ready to go as well. Let's go ahead and add this into the mix. Now I've grabbed my electric mixer and the butter with the celery salt and onion powder, and I'm gonna simply take the olive oil and dump it right over the top. The olive oil has had about 2 minutes to cool off now while we've put everything together and chopped the parsley. And I'm gonna go ahead and simply insert this in here and start slow. So as you can see here, everything's beat together and it's kind of loose. It's soft, but not totally fluid melted. And that's great because now we're gonna add in all of the parsley. Now we're gonna go ahead and beat this just a little bit longer. Now if you take a look, we have the parsley divided mostly evenly throughout, and everything is nice and smooth. So if you notice, this is also kind of soft right now, but that's because it's not cold anymore because of the hot olive oil that we stuck in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and call this finished and put it right into the refrigerator for later.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
We are back, and as you can see here, we have the garlic butter. It is quite cold. It just came out of the refrigerator, and it's been quite a while. But if you rake the top, you can tell that it's a little bit softer than just regular butter, and that's really where the olive oil comes in. Along with the flavor, it's also a little bit softer. What we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna take this small roll I have, and I'm gonna cut it on a bias, because I figured, why not make garlic bread since we just made garlic butter? I'm just gonna take this small amount of butter here and just show you that it spreads well. Almost kind of like a margarine would, but not quite that soft. So with the butter, I like to apply a generous amount because I love garlic butter, which is probably why I keep it made in the refrigerator all the time. So now let's throw this in a pan. I'm gonna start my pan on high heat to get the pan up to temp and then turn it down to medium low and let the butter soak into and then toast the bread. I wish that you could smell this because it's absolutely fantastic. But we've toasted the bread to where it's nice and firm around the edges and a little bit firm on top, but mostly soft still in the middle. And the garlic, as you can see, has toasted a little bit more and everything feels really nice and smells even better. So let's go ahead and eat one of these and see what we think. Just as we suspected, we have that slightly salty, rich, buttery goodness that's lightened up by the herb, and it has the nice garlic to give it that robust flavor throughout. And I have to say, garlic bread is absolutely one of my favorite things to eat with most meals. All right, well that wraps us up on how to make garlic butter. Comment below and let me know how your garlic butter turns out. If you like the video, be sure to share it with your friends. Have a great day.